Good morning, everyone. I am early today. I had to do this early today because I got things I need to get done. So I'm here now. Better early than not at all, right? How is everybody? How are ya? I missed you guys since yesterday. Mia, thank you for becoming a member, girl. Thank you. Hi, Sophie Queen Cindy. Hi, Sheila. Hi, JJ. Rabbit. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully, people get the notifications that I'm here. Oh, man. How is everyone? I'm doing good this morning. I feel better. It's just like my runny nose now. I actually need to go and spray some Flonase in my nose, but I haven't done that yet. I had my monthly therapy session this morning at 9. Hi, Jen and Barrett. How are ya? I had my therapy appointment this morning. That went well. I had to tell him all the stuff that's been going on with me. Oh, goodness, my nose. Okay. Boy mom, TikTok from day before yesterday. You had therapy yesterday? It's always good, guys. If you don't have a therapist, get one. Get one because, you know, that's who you can tell all your shit to so you don't go crazy on people. That's what I do anyway. That's what I do. I think I need to start doing it twice a month again, but we'll see what happens. Man. Hi, Bliss Chris. Good morning. Good morning. Oh yeah, boy mom. Thanks to a friend that helped me last night, I was able to find out who this woman is and what city she lives in Louisiana. So we are able to get the paperwork for all of this stuff and see what the neighbors' side of things is. See where exactly they're coming from and what they're saying and all of it. So wait for it. That'll be here. Today we're going to do part 2 of going through the TikTok and seeing what boy mom has to say. Hi, John D. How are ya? Good to see you here. Hi, Sarah with the Q. Good morning. So we're going to go through the TikTok some more today and pick up where we left off. I have it saved still. I think we're in the right place. I brought it back up this morning. I think we're in the right place. So we're going to, hi, Barbie, we're going to do that today, part 2. And I'm here so early because my husband said that he's probably going to leave work early around lunchtime, a little bit before lunchtime, something around there. So I promised you guys we would do this today. So that's why I'm early, because we got some things we need to take care of today. And yeah. So I'm going to start with this. Let's see. Let me share my screen here. Before I do that, I want to show you some of the things that were found yesterday. I found, or we found, the Zillow listing from where she bought her house. We all love what we see of her house on TikTok, but I want to show you guys this house. Like, this house is insanity. Like, it could be in a movie. It's like this house should have been in The Notebook. That is this house, and it's insane. So I want to be a little bit nosy with you guys this morning and look through the Zillow listing of this house. So I think we'll do that first. Okay, man. I wish I could do this. Hold on, let me, okay, yeah, I can. Because I didn't want to show her address, but I'm able to enlarge it to where her house is not shown. Look at this house, guys. Look at this freaking house. Number one. Hi, pretty bird. Good morning. Look at this house. Hey, Brooks Nose. I'm going to enlarge it some so you guys can see it a little bit better. This house should have been in The Notebook or something. Like, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. Let me go to the next one. Up close. That's the front of it. Look, she's got the stairs on both sides leading to the top. It's a porch swing. Beautiful property. It's beautiful. And over here to the left, you can see the water that's being fought over. Let me see if it tells me. 5 bedrooms and 5 baths, 3,275 square feet. This is a house. Basketball court and an outbuilding. Beautiful. And the inside. I don't care so much for the blue carpet on the stairs, but that's just me. How is everybody? Thanks for coming and chatting. But I don't care for the blue carpet on the stairs. Yes, Barbie, Gone with the Wind. Exactly. It's that kind of house. Isn't it pretty? It's breathtaking. But I don't care for the blue carpet on the stairs. Hopefully she's redone that. Oh, beautiful. Gold chandelier. Beautiful. Yeah, hopefully she's changed the paint colors and stuff. You know, popular belief is I love the color beige, but I really don't. Not this color on the wall. It's making it look too heavy and dark. But open floor plan. It's got a fireplace. Yeah, hopefully they've redone the cabinets and stuff because it's outdated. Isn't it beautiful, JJ? Yeah, hopefully they've done some updates. That room is pretty. Is that a bedroom? It must be one of the bedrooms because over here on the right you can see a vanity and a mirror, so that must be a bedroom. And it's also got a fireplace. Hardwood floors. Yeah, there's the bathroom. It's got, what do you call that? A wet room? Where the bathroom flows into the shower. It's open, no doors. Yeah, hopefully she's done updates. Hi, Ghostface. Good morning. Carpet on the stairs makes me slip. I have carpet on my stairs and when I'm wearing socks. Right, Ghostface. I could imagine. We're all on one floor here, and then there's stairs to go down to the basement, and there's stairs to go up into the attic, but we're all on one floor here. Hi, Miss Mommy. It's not how we would decorate, but many like the colors. I know, Jenna Barrett, I know. But if it was me, it was my house, I would do things much differently. You know, I would have that house looking fabulous. Hi, UC Love. Aren't the tiles beautiful and the hardwood floors too? Hi, Brooklyn. Whose house is this? Brooklyn. Day before yesterday, if you want to go back and watch and listen to it, there is a TikToker named Boy Mom, and she is having a feud with her neighbor over her children just being children, right? They've got the four-wheelers and the dune buggies and the boats and all the things, right? And the neighbor does not like them being on quote unquote her side of the water. Nobody owns the water, right? There's part of the river flows into their backyard basically. And this woman, this neighbor has gone so far as put a chain link fence from her house down the hill into the water, girlfriend, into the water and back over. So this boy mom's children cannot go on that side. This woman, Brooklyn, has called the police, the Marine police. She's called every unit of the police that you can think of on Boy Mom, right? And she wanted to put Boy Mom's son, file charges on a 13-year-old boy for trespassing because his fishing line was on her side of the water. She is the Karen of all Karens. Yes, Bliss Chris, she is the Karen of all Karens. But Brooklyn, my live from Tuesday, it was Tuesday, wasn't it, right? Wasn't it, guys? Let me look really quick. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. My live from Tuesday, we went through half of the woman's TikTok, Boy Mom's TikTok, from the beginning to around, hopefully around the middle of it. So if you want to go watch that one after this, so you get kind of caught up on what's going on. But it's crazy, Brooklyn. The neighbor who put the fence through the water. There's like several violations from her having the fence in the water alone. The police have tried to explain to her every time they go out, nobody owns the water. It's not your property. But she hasn't listened. She hasn't listened. Hi, Big T. Good morning. Sophie, I hope you're okay from everything you've heard. No, girl, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm good. Right, Brooklyn. Yes, it's bad. It's bad. So we know who the boy mom is. We know what township she's in or parish. Their parishes down there. We know what parish she's in. We found this, the Zillow, because her house, Brooklyn, from her TikToks, the outside of her house, just like the back of it that she shows in the background, is like breathtaking. It's beautiful. So when all of this stuff was found yesterday evening, this was also found. And we just want to take a peek inside her house before she bought it, a peek inside her house to see, just to see. Have you seen the lady who bought a property on a river? It was abandoned for years, and the town was using her property as a beach. When she asked them to stop, the entire town tried to cancel her. That's insane, Bliss Chris. Like everybody in the city just kind of thought, it's public property, public beach area. That's insane. I'm going to have to, Bliss Chris, if you know the lady's name, send it to me and we'll look up that one when we're done with this one. It's insane, Brooklyn. Yes, yes. So we're going to get all of the court paperwork for this so we can kind of just have a closer look into what's going on. Thank you, Bliss Chris. They're trying to make her out to be the Karen. That's insane. Good morning, Snurk. How are you? I hope you're having a good morning. But yes, here's another bedroom, and it's also got a bathroom. I'm assuming each bedroom has its own bathroom because there's 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. Look at that. Look at that, Brooklyn. Look at that. And this is in Louisiana. And there is the said water that is being fought over. Mm-mm-mm. So here is her house, right where my cursor is. There's her house. There's her property. And I'm pretty sure it's this neighbor over here that you see to the right. I'm pretty sure that's the neighbor. Is it, guys? Do you think? Because there's water over here too. But it doesn't really flow together with that one. Yeah, it's probably down here to the right. That's probably the neighbor that's causing all the issues because there's the water right there. Oh, look how pretty. I could see why she wanted to buy this house. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, start over. Here's the house. Here's the front of it. For those just coming in, this is it. Snark, the boy's mom. Boy mom. This is her house. Here isn't in Long Island. That would be around 6 million mark, probably 150. Oh, wow. I think it's 375, Brooklyn. I think that's what she paid for this house was 375. I think I seen that somewhere yesterday evening looking through all this stuff. Yep. Hi, Janet. Good morning. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better because it's not. Yeah, there's her house. It is a good price. It is. It's totally a good price. All right. So there's that. There's her house. Let me. Where did I see that at? Yep. It was sold for $376,500 in 2021. Yep. So we've started the process for looking for property a month ago, just an acre or two to build on. I want agricultural land for all deed restrictions. It's so much harder to find than I thought. It is, JJ, it is. And our house sits on right at 2 acres. That's what we have here. You do, Brooklyn, and that's crazy that this same house in Louisiana would be probably about $6 million. Is $376,000 in Louisiana. Okay, so there's that. Now let's go to Boy Mom. Shit, why does it keep bringing me back to the beginning? I think we were here. Yeah, I think we were here. Okay. So we got to September 9th, 2023. Right, JJ. Exactly. You want to live somewhere nice. Wow, Brooklyn. I couldn't imagine. Why does it have to be so expensive in some states? That's insane. Hi, Adam. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Let me share my screen. Let me go to the beginning.
To block us from being able to utilize the river. Yeah, that. Hey, TikTokers. If you follow my page, you'll know that my neighbors have been harassing us for the past 3 years. They filed a lawsuit against us, and then we filed against them. This behind me is the water fence that they put up. And that is the very dangerous water fence, the one that has the 2 cables running across it that they put up solely to block us from being able to utilize the river. Yeah, that one. Do you notice anything different? Yeah, you do. Or how about this guy?
Hey,
or
Bugsy.
this guy? Wait, there's more. Or these guys. And remember, we were trying to negotiate outside of court per their request. So I guess this is their form of negotiating, pointing no trespassing signs directly at our home and making the water fence an even more of an eyesore for our residential neighborhood. Or is this just a new way of harassment? They're not getting what they want. The police aren't arresting my 13-year-old. The judge isn't allowing them to put a restraining order against us for just living our life. So they're just sitting back. What can we do next? But once again, they're not hurting me. They are devaluing the property.
Yep.
They are in a residential area where other people have to look at this, although it is 1 inch off of our property line. These were actually installed on September 1st. I'm just getting around to updating things. Hey, TikTokers. If you follow my page, you'll know that my neighbors have been harassing us for the past 3 years. They filed. Can we just normalize kind humans or just being kind? Like when someone is unkind to someone, such as my neighbors, what are they benefiting? And let me show you why it bothers me. You're going to say, boy, mom, what are you talking about? That's just normal everyday stuff. They're just listening to music, right? While the boys are playing outside, playing football with their friends and listening to music, I'm up here worried whether or not the police are going to be called over music. And so this is why when a lot of people say just ignore her, it's difficult to do so. But on a more positive note, let me show you this. Notice anything different in my garden? Look closely. Let me show you what they look like at night. I was going to put them in my garden. I decided to put them in my garden. I was thinking about putting them by the river. But then my husband reminded me that the river goes up and down, and one day they would be out of the water and one day they would be in the water. So it was best that I put them in my garden. Anyhow, I thought they looked really pretty. I never bought lights like that before. Thought they were super cool. Anyway, you can get them my link below if you really. Did you know that any and all email correspondence to your parish or your county is public knowledge? If you didn't, it is. And so I requested any and all email correspondence, maps, transcripts, videos, pictures, anything and all that had to do with my address and to the parish and to the parish councilman and to any and all parish official. And I have been waiting for a while for this documentation because I'm sure it takes some time to gather that information. And today I received a response. And guess how many pages there are?
I'm scared to know.
185.
Wow.
What?
The neighbor has sent 185 pages. Emails.
Full of emails and correspondence.
To the city.
And I haven't had a chance to review it yet. I'm in Caroline to pick up my boys. But I plan to do that as soon as possible. However, it's on a CD, and I don't think I own anything at home that plays an actual CD. I would need a computer that has a CD slot, so I got to figure that part out. But yeah, 185 pages. Now it could just be BS, but we're about to find out. Hey TikTokers, I know a lot of you were asking about an update from the CD that I picked up from the parish. Just a little clarification on what a parish is. It's basically the same thing as a county. A lot of you asked about that. So if you were going to report someone to code enforcement and or say start a new project and you needed to go to planning and development, we go to our parish, you guys would go to a county. But like I said in my previous video, if you didn't know, any and all email and correspondence with your county and or parish is public knowledge. And you as a citizen can request those things, your address, anything regarding your address or anyone else's address for that matter. Anyhow, so I had requested this months ago. I requested any and all email correspondence before we even went to court with our neighbors, just out of wanting to collect things that I needed. And I knew it was going to take some time. I requested 3 years. So it was a lot of information that the years that I lived in the house. I'm still actually kind of going through some of the emails and correspondence, but I will say this, that a lot of it's just normal permits that were Hey TikTokers, I wanted to give you an update on the water fence. If you've been following my page, you'll know that my neighbors have been harassing my family for the past 3 years. They filed a lawsuit against us, and then we finally countersued against them. Several months ago, they erected this, what we call the water fence behind me here. It's basically just metal or aluminum poles with 2 dangerous cables running across. It's very much of an eyesore in the neighborhood, and they did it solely to block us from utilizing the river, as well as stopping my boys from fishing. When they first erected it, I contacted the HOA, who said because there was nothing in the covenants stating anything about a water fence in the covenants, that there was nothing they could do. I was told to reach out to our parish, which is also better known as a county to you guys, and I did. I first reached out to code enforcement, who said because it's in the water, I would need to contact the water department. Contacted the water department, who told me that it wasn't a violation to them because it did not restrict the flow of the water. They told me to reach out to the wildlife and fishery, which I did. Wildlife and fishery said they do not patrol this area, so it wouldn't interfere with them patrolling the area, and there was no violation to them. I then contacted code enforcement again, and also the parish councilman. Parish councilman had 5 parish officials come out to look at the fence. Every person who stepped foot on my property and looked at the fence has said, oh, no way this fence is going to fly. This is a violation. However, whenever I try to reach out to them, either they do not follow up with me, or I cannot get a hold of them, or they tell me that it wasn't a violation to their department and to reach out to another department. So basically, I've gotten the runaround a good bit. Now that the water is at a dead low, the fence is indeed higher than 6 feet, and that's against code enforcement. So I called code enforcement, who came out and said, yes, it is higher than 6 feet. It is 7 feet plus, and that is a violation. I also brought up the cables and how they're very, very dangerous, and they're in a residential neighborhood, and they agreed that wire isn't allowed in a residential area. So after trying once again to follow up with them, I was told now that this is not considered a fence and that they have deemed it no violation. So with that said, this is the update. The update is the parish has said that it's not a fence, that this dangerous cable can be allowed in a residential area, and that there is nothing they are going to do about it. It's unfortunate and a shame that we're not getting the help we need on such a dangerous fence. It's as if they want something dangerous to happen and then they will handle it.
Yeah, again, they want something to happen before they do anything about it.
Hey TikTokers, I wanted to give you an update on the water fence. If you've been following my page, you'll know. Hey TikTokers, if you follow my page, you'll know that my neighbors have been harassing us for the past 3 years. They filed a lawsuit against us, and then we countersued against them. Now, we didn't countersue until after the neighbors had filed a restraining order against us. The restraining order had an involuntary dismissal due to lack of evidence. And then we countersued and requested discovery. That's when the neighbor's attorney came to our attorney and asked if we would be willing to settle outside of court. Now, I did a video on this previously, but basically they came to us with some ridiculous request. We said, nope, we're not willing to do those things, and we will just go to court. We went back and forth a little bit more, basically the same thing, and more ridiculous requests and more ridiculous responses. So finally we said, look, if you're willing to drop your lawsuit, we'll be willing to drop our lawsuit, no conditions. We really didn't think they were going to agree to that because they had been so ridiculous with their request at this point. There was no way they were going to agree to just dropping it with no conditions, but to our surprise, they did. So as of September 13th, the case has been dismissed without prejudice. Prejudice. I hope I'm saying that right. What does that mean? That basically means that any and all evidence that we had, the many of police calls and the harassment, can still be used if we choose to reopen the case. If we would have filed with prejudice, then we wouldn't have been able to use all those police calls. It would be as if it never happened. Now, while this does seem like it's in our favor, it is not the most ideal, and here's why. Because in my opinion, I feel like the neighbors have agreed to this so that they can come back later and collect more evidence that we're not doing. And so it feels like the lawsuit's almost hanging over our head or on pause, in my opinion. Now, of course, it works both ways. If they continue their harassment or they continue the police calls, then we can reopen the case ourselves as well. But again, that's money and time. Either way, for now, this is what's best for our family, is to take a step back and hope that it gets better. And if it doesn't, then we just reopen the case. And P.S. a lot of my content and or videos are things that happened days ago or sometimes weeks ago. And I do that for a reason. Oh, and one last thing. I almost forgot, the fence. That's still an issue. It's a whole different thing in itself, and we're still working on that. So I can assure you I have nothing to hide, nor was I hiding any information from you guys. Thanks for following. Do you notice anything different? Yeah, you do. She does not own the water. We do not own the water. I have this beautiful home. And this is what we have to deal with. Our crazy neighbors who have called the police on us over 27 times has decided to put up this fence smack dab in the river solely to block us from utilizing our property, to be able to go fishing with our boys on the river.
Her neighbour won't stop calling the authorities.
This time she's got the Marine Police here. Our properties are a little unique. This is her home. And then the water comes up in between our homes. And then this is my home. So we live on a natural scenic waterway or a river. And this is actually a drainage easement she put the fence up on as well. So there's multiple violations here. We moved here about 3 years ago, and from the day we've moved in, it's been nothing with issues with her. She's called the police on us numerous times, multiple times, even as far as the boys fishing in her water and the fishing line, the lure going into her waterway. She files what they call peace bond against us. The judge threw that out, and we thought we were finished. We thought it was over with. He told her basically to leave us alone. And the things that she was calling on were ridiculous. It's been a ride.
Unfortunately, the drama doesn't end here.
Y'all, I seriously can't make this stuff up. I had my boys outside cleaning up and cutting the limbs on the trees around the property line. And our neighbor comes outside yelling and recording them.
Hi, Brenda. Good
Our
morning.
tree limbs were going into her water. Here they are, cleaning them up, just so you know what we're up against. My neighbor is a Karen on steroids. Was fishing with jug lines and got caught into her fence in the water. As he was untangling his line in the fence, she happened to be cutting grass and started freaking out, saying that to get on his side of the fence. Before he could finish explaining, she runs inside, literally runs inside to call the sheriff. She also told me that she wanted to press charges against my 13-year-old.
Enough is enough. HOA end up getting involved.
We've talked to HOA, who said that there isn't anything in the covenants that specifies anything to do with fencing in the water. So they've basically said there's no way, that there's nothing I can do. I also spoke to wildlife and fishery agents who said that because this is a tributary of the river, that they do not patrol this area and it would not be anything that a violation for them. But they also said that she does not own the water and that our boys, as well as ourselves, have access to fish and boat in the water all that we want. We just cannot anchor or get off on her land or actual physical land or property.
A neighbour files a lawsuit against them.
So here's the update you guys have been looking for. On July 27th, my neighbors served my family a restraining order. So yesterday was the day that we actually ended up going to court for the restraining order itself. Now, here are some of the things that she said that we have caused her damage or she wanted relief for. General damage for emotional distress, loss of peaceable possession of real property, loss of use of enjoyment of real property, invasion of privacy. Because they're the ones that file the restraining order, it is basically their job to prove why this restraining order needs to be put into place. We're able to prove these things because these things that they are not happening.
Get ready to hear her most asked questions.
Did the judge comment on the waterway? And yes, he did. He said that she does not own the water. We do not own the water. No one owns the water. A lot of you have asked how my boys are handling this. Of course, it's upsetting.
It doesn't make sense.
Don't like when the police are called on them. It makes them feel like they're doing something wrong. I constantly reassure them that they're not, and we cannot control other people's actions. So if she's going to call, she's going to call.
They officially file a lawsuit against their neighbours.
They've reported us to the sheriff's office for false and unfound claims and have been told the same by the sheriff's office. They've taken pictures and videos of our minor children. The defendants have maintained security cameras attached with floodlights directed at our property, including the fronts and sides of our home. We are tired.
Little shoe.
We are just a young family wanting our kids to enjoy the river and be little boys. This can't be real life. Now they come to us and say they want to settle outside of court and come to some type of an agreement. We're like, okay, what you got? And at first they say that they want us to stop doing everything they have in their lawsuit and they'll be willing to drop their lawsuit. And we're like, nah, this is not how this works.
Not going to happen.
We will drop our lawsuit if you drop your lawsuit. If you live your life and we live ours. They come back in response with, yeah, they agree that they'll drop their lawsuit if we drop ours. We're like, okay, cool. Then they basically say that they're not willing to move or reposition their camera. They're not in agreement that they're going to stop calling the sheriffs because what constitutes a real emergency is what they said. Like, what? You don't know what a real emergency is? How about a fishing line going in the water is not an emergency? Do you notice anything different? Yeah, you do. And remember, we were trying to negotiate outside of court per their request. So I guess this is their form of negotiating, pointing no trespassing signs directly at our home and making the water fence an even more of an eyesore for our residential neighborhood? Or is this just a new way of harassment? They're not getting what they want. The police aren't arresting my 13-year-old. The judge isn't allowing them to put a restraining order against us for just living our life. So they're just sitting back. What can we do next?
The verdict is in.
We really didn't think they were going to agree to that because they had been so ridiculous with their request at this point. There was no way they were going to agree to just drop it in with no conditions. But to our surprise, they did. So as of September 13th, the case has been dismissed without prejudice. Thanks for following.
What a whirlwind, right? I mean, the fact that it's been going on for 3 years is completely mind-boggling. But we're just glad to hear that they came to a mutual agreement, and we just wish them both happy, peaceful life. Now, as you can imagine, her followers were completely invested in this story. One person said, "This needs to be a Netflix series." Who else agrees? I mean, while it definitely looks like the fence is staying, at least they can have just a tiny bit of peace. And commenters on her last video could see the difference it's made already, saying, "You look so less stressed. No matter what any of us say, you are the only one who knows what is best for your family." And we couldn't agree more. Each to their own, I say. Anyways, as always, thanks so much for watching It's Gone Viral.
Hey, TikTokers. A lot of you have asked how I dealt with this drama with the neighbors and how I'm able to stay so calm. Aside from the fact that I want to show my boys how to be respectful and handle things the correct way.
Okay. So, good morning, allegedly. I don't think it's over yet, UC Love. I don't think it's over yet. Like JJ said, let me go back up to her comment. At 3 years of constant headaches, I would sell and find another home like this one on the water. It wouldn't be worth my peace. They aren't even able to enjoy what they purchased this house for. And I agree. I would move. I would find a house just as beautiful, if not more, on the water by itself, or at least a little further away from the neighbors, so her boys wouldn't bother anybody doing all of their outside activities. That's what I would do. And then, like Bliss Chris said, how does she not own the water, but she's allowed to put a fence in the water? I don't know. I don't know. That's what, us getting the court paperwork for this, hopefully that will answer some of these questions that we have. Maybe because the water goes up and down so much. I don't know. I don't understand. It is confusing. It really is. Yes. And we heard on the last recap that she has been going through this since literal day one, their first day moving in, every day for 3 years. Yeah, same JJ. As many issues as this woman is having, I can't believe the old neighbor saying, "Oh no, it was fine," Unless I just not even an unless, just I don't believe it. I don't. I think they just wanted to sell the house and say whatever they had to say to get the house sold. You have a really crazy neighbor story? Anytime anybody wants to come up and tell a story that has something to do with whatever topic we're talking about, you're more than allowed and welcome to, not allowed, welcome to come up. Or if you want to leave your story for me in my email or on IG, I'll tell a story for you. Okay, let's go back and listen to what else she's got to say. If nobody owns the water, then as easy as they put the fence up, I would be taking it down, especially if it's 1 inch on my land. I agree, Mayday. I would too. Okay, let's go to the beginning of this.
Dealt with this drama with the neighbors and how I'm able to stay so calm. Aside from the fact that I want to show my boys how to be respectful and handle things the correct way, and of course, not wanting to get in trouble, I use these patches. And there are several different kinds, but I typically use Peace because that helps with anxiety and stress and drama with neighbors. But they also have ones for energy, which is the one I'm wearing today, actually. And they have ones that help with hangovers and all kinds. I've gotten a ton of them and love them all so far. Look how many different kinds they have. Pizzazz,
What does she
that
have?
helps with energy. Peace, which is the one I use for the neighbors. Pep also helps with energy. One has caffeine, one does not. Parquet is the hangover. They sell.
Oh, shit. Damn it.
This weekend was our neighborhood.
Damn it. What did I do? Hold on. What did I just do here? Let me go back to her. I hate TikTok being so touchy like that. But yes, the story is not over yet. It's not. Where were we? Oh, there we are.
Aside from the fact that
Right, I want to know
I
what
want
they
to show my
are.
boys how to be, which is the one I use for the neighbors.
What she says that they are.
With neighbors. But they also have ones for energy, which is the one I'm wearing today, actually. Look how many different kinds they have. Pizzazz, that helps with energy.
I was trying to zoom in
which
so
is
we
the one
can
I
see
use for
what
the
they are.
neighbors. Pep also helps with energy. One has caffeine, one does not. Parquet is the hangover. They sell them in larger packs and small packs. I bought all kinds. Then they have the party pack that has different all different ones in it: energy, recovery, and repeat. So this is the perfect pack to get if you're going with friends or on vacation. I don't typically wear it on my wrist. I do if I'm not really going anywhere, but I'll wear it on my hip where it can't be seen. What I love about them most is I'm allergic to tape. So I can't have Band-Aids and whatnot because it gives me a rash. But these do not give me a rash at all. I can use paper tape, but these here are they stick pretty well. It's like a jelly almost. Very cool. And they don't give me a rash. I started using these about halfway through this Namer stuff. I tried it one day and loved them. And the cool thing is now they're on TikTok Shop. So since it's the Halloween season, don't be a basic witch. Get you some patches. You can get it through the link below or in my TikTok shop. Hey, TikTokers. A lot of you have asked how I dealt with this drama with the neighbors and how I'm able to stay so calm. Aside from the fact that
Damn it. I was muted. No, it was me. It was me. It was me. It was me. No worries, Raken. This thing is not done by a long shot. There's a whole lot more to this. I don't know what they're called though, Brooks knows. I don't know what the patches are called. Sorry, I was muted. But I don't even know how to get to TikTok Shop from my freaking laptop. Hold on, let me go to my phone. Shop? All right, let me find them. View? All right, there we go. I found them. What are they called? Posh Patch. Posh Patch. And we're going to look those up. Let me get back to where I was on here, and then we'll. Okay, we're back. Posh Patch, and we're going to look that up.
A garage sale ourselves. There were 33 families. This weekend was our neighborhood garage sale. It's a pretty big event for our neighborhood. We typically don't participate because this particular week in October, we're usually camping. But this year we decided to stay back and participate in the garage sale, which, so we had a garage sale ourselves. There were 33 families and we were one of them. After we got all set up, I told my husband I was going to go look at the other garage sales real quick and he could stay back. I'll be back in just a bit. I found this super cute tea set. It was like a crystal tea set, or just I don't know, it was really pretty crystal tea set. And the sticker on it had $20. So I asked one of the ladies who was working the garage sale if she'd be willing to take $15. And I don't typically negotiate. I'm just whatever. It's a garage sale. But I personally only had $15 cash on me. And the lady says, well, that's actually not mine. It's another lady's here. Let me get her. And so this little old lady comes out and she says, can I help you? And I said, look, I'm wanting this tea set. Would you be willing to take $15? And she kind of looked at me like I was crazy and was like, absolutely not. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I asked my son if he happened to have $5 on him and he said he did. So I was like, never mind. I'll just take it for the $20. Now remember, she had the tag listed for $20. Y'all, she snatched that tag off of there and said, actually, someone else just told me this was an antique and I'm going to sell it somewhere else for more. And so now I'm not going to sell it for the $20.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, no problem. I didn't ask her how much she would be willing to sell it for after that.
But putting everybody against her.
These garage sale people are serious. This weekend was our neighborhood garage sale. It's a pretty big event for our neighborhood. We typically don't participate because this particular week in October, we're usually camping. But this year we decided to stay back and participate in the garage sale, which, so we had a garage sale ourselves. There were 33 families and we were one of them. After we got all
crazy.
I'm not really sure if I've told this story or not, but when my neighbors filed a restraining order against my family, we had to go to court and they had to prove why a restraining order was necessary. And one of the reasons they said that they felt they needed a restraining order against us was because I had flipped off her husband or shot him the bird. And she said the story went like this. She said that I was coming down the street in my car. He had just went out to pull the trash cans up and he waved at me and I shot him the bird. And he must have went back inside and told her. And she said, well, how did you know for sure that she flipped you the bird? Now she's telling this story in court. And he said, I'm sure of it because I saw her fingernail polish. Her fingernail polish was pink. And she said, are you sure? And he said, I'm sure of it. I saw her fingernail polish. And so that is one of the reasons why they felt that my family should have a restraining order against us. And as you know,
does this sound familiar, guys?
They recently agreed to drop the lawsuits, and it's just something that my husband and I have been discussing and thinking, how do you go from 100% full force to screeching halt? It's like as if when we sent out the discovery questions, they had something to hide and didn't want to answer those questions. Just our opinion. And so I wanted to clear the air that I do have pink fingernail polish. I'm not really sure if I've told this story or not, but when my neighbors filed a restraining order against my family.
Okay. I got something else to show you. I found the website to the patches that she was talking about a second ago. Yes, Bliss Chris. Yes, it is. So the patches she was talking about, they are on her TikTok shop. 4 patches for $22. And they also have a website. That's what this is right here. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And they have all these different patches. Same price as what she's selling them for on TikTok shop. $22. B Complex Energy Boost, Cool Calm Collected. 4 patches for these are 18. These are the ones that she was talking about that has is it no? No, it's not. No, it's not. This is for energy, glamour, and control. Time release to promote all day energy. $18 for 4. Oh, those are the ones for a hangover. That's what that is. Hangover. Partay. So what that was? That's pizzazz. This one, Partay. This one is the one for hangovers. This one is for energy boost. Pep. 4 for $18. This one is for peace. Cool, calm, collected. 4 for $22. Interesting how it works. Transdermal patches have numerous advantages over oral form. A patch can deliver the supplements into the bloodstream through the skin, avoiding a trip through the digestive tract and possibly any side effects that may come with it. Apply to clean, veiny area with little to no hair. Reuse patch up to 2 times. Patch can be reused until worn for 12 hours. Posh was created to deliver supplements in a safe, clean, effective way. Our patches are fast acting with a high absorption rate. Posh uses a medical grade water-based hydrogel adhesive that delivers ingredients directly into your bloodstream steadily over several hours, so the effects are long-lasting. Made in the USA. You can order these in bulk. And they do wholesale and affiliate opportunities, which is what that woman's probably doing. Let me see what you guys are saying. Right, Jen and Barrett, yeah. Yes, Shyla, yes. And that's whenever I seen this website, that was the first thing that I thought of. Is this an MLM? And it is. It is. They do affiliate marketing and wholesale. My husband's leaving work. Yes. We have community garage sales too. They're open the front gates all day for people to come in. We have participated once, never again. People want everything for free. I would rather donate this stuff. Yes, and my husband keeps telling me, you need to have a yard sale. You need to have a yard sale. We could sell this at the yard sale. We could sell this at the yard. I'm not having a yard sale. I'm not. It's number one, I don't like people. People are shitty. Number 2, they want everything for free. Number 3, I don't want to gather everything up, price it, put it out, sit outside all day and wait for people to come. It's an inconvenience to me. It's an inconvenience. You are a bundle of energy as it is. I can't imagine what a bodily patch would do to you, right, Reagan? Yeah, Shyla. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. But I don't want to support an MLM. I don't. I like the Ollie's gummies from CVS. They have the same thing, energy. Yep, that's an idea too. Brooks knows. Yep. Oh, do they, Ghostface? Target has something similar? We'll have to look at that too. The ones at Target are cheaper. I get more joy giving it away to people that could really use it. We have a couple community pages where you list all this stuff for free. And that too, Mia's mommy. That too. That too. So that's what she was trying to sell. Their property line, it's now like looks like Fort Knox. Word on the street is that she is not happy with them either. Welcome to the dark side, my friend. Oh, we got a fence update.
Follow my page, you'll know that my neighbors have been harassing my family for the past 3 years. In May of 2023, they erected this water fence because they believe they own the water and they wanted to prevent my boys from fishing and allowing us to launch our boat from our property and use the water to access the main river. They even went as far as calling the police on us if the fishing line went into the water or the boat and claimed we were trespassing. I went to the HOA first to file a complaint about the fence with multiple different types of violation, and each time was turned down.
Thanks, Dixie.
Because
I'll look that up too.
The neighbors would come back with some type of letter from their lawyer, which would not allow the HOA to deem it a violation. Then my neighbors filed a restraining order against my family, claiming that we had been trespassing. The judge issued an involuntary dismissal of the restraining order due to lack of evidence and the fact that we don't own the water. It's for everyone to enjoy. They don't own the water, and that we were not trespassing. I then again went back to the HOA with the court transcripts showing them that they do not own the water, and it is a violation because they're not allowing us to use our property. And as of yesterday, Saturday, October 14th, 2023, the neighbors were issued a certified letter stating they had to have removed the fence by December 1st of 2023. Shortly after they received the letter, they contacted the HOA to let them know they will not be removing the fence, and that if we want the fence removed, then we will have to take them to court. So once again, after being told by multiple agencies that we are not trespassing, this is not their water, they told the HOA board or the president to let us know that we are not to be in that water and to take them to court if we want them to remove the fence.
Okay, to answer Mayday's comment, no. Other neighbors do not have a problem with this, the neighbor woman that's doing this to her. Nobody else has a problem with her. On the live that we did on Tuesday, she said that other neighbors' dogs will go in the lady's yard. The music, the kids, all of that will happen, and that neighbor will not say a word to anybody else. It's only this woman that it's happening to. Hi, Teddy. How are you?
My neighbors have been harassing my family for the past 3 years, and I have some emails I want to share with you to show you guys just what we have to deal with on a regular basis. Now, remember, the HOA recently sent out a letter asking the neighbors to remove their water fence that they put up solely to block us from using the water. Here's that letter if you didn't get a chance to read it. The same day the letter went out, my family and I were cutting limbs in our yard. We had rented a pole saw to be able to cut some limbs that we haven't been able to get to since the river was on the low side. So on October 14th, we rented a pole saw at 10:48. While in the process of cutting my grass and starting to cut some limbs, we get a phone call from the HOA president. That's when he verbally told me that he the neighbors had mentioned that they were not going to take down the fence, but they also wanted to make a complaint that my tree limbs had fallen onto their property and we hadn't picked them up. Here is the limbs right there that they sent a picture of to the HOA president saying those are our tree limbs and we needed to pick them up. Since we didn't pick them up fast enough, they filed another complaint. I explained to the HOA president that we were in the process of cutting the tree limbs and that because there was a burn ban, we couldn't burn them and we were going to drag them off of our property when we had a dump trailer.
HOA, Mia's mommy, is
Regardless, we made sure to pull
homeowners
those limbs back
association.
so not to cause any more issues than they already have caused. Here's another picture they sent saying that those were our tree limbs, but where I've put the X is not even their property. Then the neighbor sent out a response to the HOA regarding the letter that went out removing the water fence. And here it is. Now you can pause and read, but I'm going to touch a few points here. First and foremost, as you can tell by this letter, this is why there's a lot of departments who back down when they approach my neighbors, because they automatically threaten and CC their attorney in these emails and letters and essentially bully people into leaving the situation alone. When they talk about the wildlife and fishery and the parish saying that this fence was legal, that is not true. They just have said that they don't have jurisdiction to have them remove it and or that it is not a violation to their department. That doesn't make the fence legal. They go on to say that we're potentially blackmailing the HOA and or have an improper relationship with them. They also said that we cut our limbs
Improper relationship
because of the HOA asking them to remove the fence. And that the HOA is bullying them on our behalf. But here's the most shocking part to me of the whole letter. They say the waters in question are not public waters as erroneously stated by the HOA, us, and the judge. They go on to say that the judge made comments, not rulings, which is true, but they go on to say that without ever consulting the law or taking the time to even familiarize himself with the law. And that he's far from expert witness in this matter, and no one is above the law. And let's address the part of the letter where they say, but the large part of the comments were particularly damning to us and their behaviors towards them. Some of the things that the judge commented on regarding us were made up or exaggerated by our neighbors. For instance, us intimidating her with my car. The reason I had to get a dash cam in my car never happened. So one of the comments the judge made about that was, if we have done that could be a very serious consequence. And it could, if it would have happened. This letter is just another form of harassment by them. And not only to us, but now to the HOA, because the HOA said something they didn't like. And this, my friends, is what we've been putting up with for the past 3 years. And there's more emails to come that are just as
Kim?
Over the top as this one. Hey, TikTokers, my neighbor.
By the way, thank you to the person that sent me the Cash App. Much appreciated. Thank you.
And then I just go ahead and give them to him. I got Pop-Tart. Today is my husband and I's anniversary, and I told him all that I wanted was to relax. Ladies, do we really like these things? There is an official response from my HOA board president to my neighbors regarding their letter. Here's that letter if you didn't get a chance to read it. And here is why I wear these. Remember how I said that people tend to back down when they start CCing their lawyer and threatening other people that if they don't back down, they're going to sue them too? Here's a prime example. Promotes peace, calmness, stress release, helps you relax.
Again, with the patches.
All natural. Solve the debate for me. So I get this comment a lot about my neighbor's fence they put in the water. A lot of you want to know why I haven't just removed the fence myself. And if the judge himself said we don't own the water, that no one owns the water, then why haven't we removed the fence? Why aren't we doing anything? First and foremost, the judge did not make a ruling or any type of judgment on the fence itself because it was never brought up in court. The reason it was never brought up in court was because we only went for the restraining order that the neighbors tried to put on us. And when someone files a restraining order against you, you go to court immediately because it's considered an emergency. And the reasons they wanted to put a restraining order on us were many reasons, but none of them were about a fence, obviously. I'm sure they didn't want the fence to get brought up in court. Why didn't we bring up the fence ourselves? Because we only went for the restraining order, and because the restraining order didn't specify anything about the fence, technically we couldn't bring it up. It would be a whole nother issue in itself and would have to be addressed at a different time. Now, the biggest question, why don't we remove the fence ourselves if the judge says we don't own the water, they don't own the water, no one owns the water, and nobody has seemed to be able to regulate this fence situation? And the answer is because they own the land beneath the water, but not the water itself. So the issue at play here is that they're blocking our right of way to use the water to get to the main body of water, the river. So if I were to remove the fence on our own, it would be destruction of property, I assume. And although I would love to hook a truck up to it and rip it down, I'm not. It would bring me so much joy to be able to do that. However, it would bring me more joy when I watch the judge tell her she's got to remove the fence, or some agency tells her she has to remove the fence. But until we get that determined, we sit back and we wait.
I think so too, Reagan.
It's the worst. I know. It's slow. I know. But believe me, we're working on it. So I get this.
Yeah, she's definitely a part of that MLM. Most definitely. She keeps pushing those patches more than anything else she has on her TikTok shop.
Of our neighbors harassing my family. July 7th, we move into our home. July 7th, my boys are swimming and boating and jump out because of ants in her backyard and run to me. She comes out yelling to get off our property. July 11th, she sees the boys swimming and yells at them to get out of her water. July 26th, neighbor comes to our home to tell us that we're in her.
We know all of that. We've seen it all.
No, not water blasters. I get asked all the time why our neighbors harass my family. What has caused this? What has started this? We must have done something to cause them to call the police on us 30 times, and the code enforcement and wildlife and fishery and you name it, they've called it. Why did they start doing this? And although I don't have a straightforward answer for you, I do have my opinion and what my thoughts are on it. And I do believe they have a history of this. I truly believe, in my opinion, that they have done this in the past and that they feel some sort of entitlement, or they feel that we should be what they want us to be. They want to control the situation. If they don't want us to drive the golf cart, then shouldn't be driving the golf cart. If they don't want us to play music, we shouldn't be playing music. If they don't want us in the water or my boys fishing, then we shouldn't be fishing or in the water. And unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. You can't have someone to control your family or dictate what you do, especially in your own home. So because we haven't bowed down or stopped doing these things when they initially asked us to, I believe this is what has caused them to start the harassment, that they can't wrap around their head that we're going to continue to live our life.
And that goes for us.
And so therefore they're going to call the police, and they're going to call code enforcement, and they're going to call all these.
Live your life how you want to do it. Live your life to the fullest. Don't let anybody stop you.
Defend ourselves all the way into court to stop the harassment. And we are going to continue to live our life, and we're going to continue to allow our boys to live their life, whether they like it or not, because that's how life works. You can't control someone else's life, much less in their own home. I get asked all the time why our neighbors harass my family.
That is the thought of the day, guys.
In order our neighbors try to file against us. And we're going over the list of reasons why they felt they needed a restraining order. And one of the reasons that come up was their lawyer said that I had called her a bitch on TikTok. And their lawyer asked the judge permission to present my TikToks to him so they could see my TikToks and how I've talked about the neighbors and how I've called the neighbor a bitch on TikTok. And so the judge agreed to allow her lawyer to present my TikToks. And actually, I was just as interested as the judge because I knew I hadn't called her a bitch on TikTok. So I wanted to see what kind of rabbit they planned to pull out of their hat. So at first, they showed a few of my TikToks, and for defamation, they tried to pull that claim. And then it came to the TikTok that they said that I called her a bitch. And I'm going to play a small, short clip of.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
Came in the mail today, and I can't wait to show you guys what TikTok sent me. They must know me. All right. And what's even funnier about this whole thing was, first off, as you can see, I did not call her a bitch in this TikTok. Never insinuated anything about the neighbors in this particular TikTok. They were really grasping for straws, no pun intended. But I look over and the attorney's shoulders were going, and he was dancing to the "We Just Got a Letter" part of the song. But this cop is court famous, so get you one today because it's made it all the way to court. And I most certainly didn't call anybody a bitch, but
she's definitely a bitch.
and I were sitting in court over the restraining order our neighbors tried to file against us. And we're going over the list of reasons.
I mean, that's kind of like how it is around here, guys. We all know this. People getting restraining orders just because you say something they don't like. And life doesn't work that way. As much as people want it to, it doesn't.
Night was our HOA board meeting. I don't typically attend the board meetings, but last night I made sure to attend because I wanted to discuss the tree limb incident and how now I feel my neighbors are harassing us through the HOA. I wanted to know what type of policies and procedures they had in place for complaints like this, because had the HOA president took the time to come by my home to see if the tree limbs were indeed an issue, he would have saw that I was still in the process of cutting limbs. Instead, he just took the neighbor's word for it. And I know this is a very unique situation, but that's what makes policies and procedures so unique, right? When unique situations happen, things are put into place. However, it turned heated because he had the audacity to look at me and say he didn't really care what I thought. And let me tell you, another board member laid into him regarding this. All I can say is if I've ever in a fight, I want her on my side. And another member said
that's just a part of it, Teddy. It's just a small part of it,
and that he knew this was an ongoing
but
problem.
Yes, she complained about tree limbs.
To know that all the HOA board members were not aware of the type of communication that was going on between the neighbors and the HOA board, because the president himself was the one making these decisions and not bringing it to the actual board themselves. However, I did learn that the neighbors are so adamant in the fact that this fence is going to remain there, that they said even if the judge himself told them to take it down, they're going to appeal it. And they're going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. I seriously can't make this stuff up, guys. Last night was our HOA board meeting. I don't typically attend the board meetings, but last night I made sure to attend because I wanted to discuss.
Right, Teddy, right. But she's going to take this all the way to the Supreme Court if she has to. This woman needs to get a life. Like, for real, needs to get a life. I just can't do nothing but laugh.
Our family for harassment, defaming them, our dogs threatening them, trespassing. Here's what the judge had to say. Mr. CL is their attorney. Mr. CA is our attorney. Here you'll see that our attorney is asking for an involuntary dismissal of the restraining order due to lack of evidence. He basically says, look, there's no evidence of damages. There's nothing to support their claims. So we would like to ask for an involuntary dismissal of the restraining order. And then their attorney is like, wait. This is why we think we need one. Their attorney says, look, Mr. Judge, she's on TikTok saying that they want to act and engage in violence. And she's supporting the comments that are being made on this TikTok. And that is one of the reasons we need this injunction, is because my clients are fearful of her now. Here is the TikTok that they're referencing.
But, girl, I see the police are out there again. What is it this time? Give her an uppercut. Do they arrest her? Girl, I would not.
And then their attorney also said, oh, and she also tried to threaten my client with her car. And my attorney's like, whoa, wait, where's this coming from? That's never happened. Show me proof of that. When did this happen? Et cetera, et cetera. So the judge is like, okay, listen, there's no evidence of this. Yes, I am granting the involuntary dismissal of the restraining order. And he's going to go down the list of items that they claimed we were doing and address those individually. So you'll see that here. And the underline is, I underlined a few things. Sorry, it looks a little kindergartenish, but it is important things. The judge basically says, look, I haven't seen any evidence of there being any harassment except in their own minds. Then he talks about the river here, which is probably one of the most important parts because it addresses the trespassing part and the reason why they weren't able to get us on trespassing, because we are not trespassing. But you'll see here that he talks about the river specifically. And then I underline that important part. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not your water directly behind your house. That belongs to all of us. He basically says, look, I was listening to you very intently. I see your concern. She hasn't defamed you. She hasn't named your names. But if she had, I could see there would be a concern. And here we talk about the famous Bitch Be Gone cup. And the judge basically says, it made me think of the cup that Mrs. Me is trying to sell online. If it had her name on it, then there might have been something. It might have been something different. But it's pretty vague. And it's not referring to her. And their attorney tries to say, that's what I was going to say within the context. And it's pretty plain. And the judge is like, not really. So there you have it. The neighbors try to say that the judge basically reamed us the whole time, tried to give us a hard time the whole time. But there it is in black and white. What do you guys think? Our neighbors try to file a restraining order against our family for harassment, defaming them, our dogs threatening. I just received our HOA newsletter, and it announced that December 14th is going to be our annual membership meeting. What does that mean and why is it so important? Well, that's the day that we get to vote any new members onto our HOA board and or members step down at this time. And it has been announced that our HOA board president is stepping down, as well as 2 other members of the board. So far, there are 5 people who have put their name in the hat to potentially be elected, and I will be sure to attend this meeting to put my vote in and give my opinion. And sorry to disappoint, but my name is not one of those names on the list, as that would be a conflict of interest and something that I personally wouldn't want to deal with anyway, as I already have to deal with name or drama on a regular basis. In addition to our HOA president stepping down, we also had some big changes for our parish councilmen recently. As this is an election year for a lot of our local officials, and they've made some major changes. So I'm hoping that's going to be some help to me and my family. And last but not least, I had 2 people reach out to me. I can't really share that news and who those people are just yet, but stay tuned, and I bet you guys are going to be just as excited as me. I just received the other day I was running in my neighborhood, and on the way back from my run, I see my neighbor blowing her leaves out of her driveway and out of her yard. And as I get closer, I have to pass her house to get to my house. And I thought to myself, please, please, please do not blow these leaves on me. But to my surprise, she did not. She turned her blower off and waved at me as if her and I are best friends. And okay, just keep listening. I already know what you're thinking, but so what do? I wave back. Now, that's just out of habit or being friendly or being normal that I wave back. And I think to myself, shoot, why is she waving at me? Why is she trying to be friendly now after trying to press charges on my 13-year-old for fishing and boating and taking us to court twice and so on and so forth? Why is she waving to me as if nothing had happened? So fast forward to yesterday, I'm doing yard work in my yard, and the daughter pulls up in her car. I'm standing towards the end of my driveway, and she waves at me. So what I naturally would do is wave back, and I did. And then she flips me off. So now I'm like looking behind me to see if maybe she was waving to somebody else and thought I was being sarcastic or something by waving. But here's my point. My point is, I know you guys are thinking this is so silly. You're talking about whether your neighbors are waving to you or not, or they wave to you, and whether or not you should wave back. And you're right. It's stupid. It's so dumb that I have to worry about these types of things because my neighbor has harassed me for 3 years and has done all these things to us, and now suddenly wanting to wave to us as if she's our best friend. And then the daughter waves to me, and it's just all a mess.
It's
But I have
strange.
proof of this because my cameras don't point directly at her house like hers does mine.
Hi, Shade.
The other day I was running in my neighborhood, and on the way
Thank
back from my run,
you.
I see my neighbor blowing her leaves out of her driveway and out of her yard. And as I get closer, I have to pass her house to get to my house. And I thought to myself, please, please, please do not blow these leaves on me.
Thank you,
But to my
Shade.
surprise, she did not. She turned her blower off. I can't tell you how many times I've walked. Over the weekend, we started working on our carport, redoing some things and just fixing some rotten wood and whatnot. And it's a carport that's not attached to our home. It's separate from our home. It's kind of more on the riverside of our area of our property. And because my husband owns a renovation company, he was able to get some of the guys who works for him to help us. But
her husband owns a renovation company, guys. Hopefully she got some things done to that house, because that house looks like something a 60-year-old would live in, not a 30-something-year-old woman. So, yay.
their heads around the bush to try to see what we were doing, to try to see what the crew was doing, I guess. And at first I thought maybe I was just seeing things and whatever, just got in my car. But as I back out of my driveway to go to lunch, I see her and her husband are peeking around the pole to their house to see what the crew is doing at our house. So this is a message to the neighbors. I saw you and your husband
I see you, bitch.
peeking around, and it gave me a pretty good laugh, actually. I'm sure we'll have code enforcement here at our house in the next few days, because I'm sure that's what they were doing. But it gave me a good laugh. It makes me want to go get one of those big tarps and put mind your own business. So they can't see what we're doing, and they should mind their own business. Because it's on the side of our carport that they can't see unless they legitimately, I guess, peek. And I guess they couldn't see it from their cameras, so they had to come outside this time. Anyhow, pretty good laugh. I'll keep you updated if code enforcement shows up.
Funny.
Over
Hey,
the weekend, we started working
Shauna.
on our carport, redoing some things and just fixing some rotten wood and whatnot. If you follow my page, you'll know that my neighbors have been harassing my family for the past 3 years. They have went as far as claiming that they own the water and put in a water fence, as we call it, in the main river to block us from utilizing the river and allowing my boys to fish. Today, the tables have turned. Today, because of the help of you guys, we're able to put on our own boat launch alongside the fence, so the fence is no longer an issue to us. After all, wasn't it her idea that we had a public beach out here? Well, we are officially put in our boat launch.
Ooh, I think they mad. Pissed off just
Yeah, boy.
I'm living how I wanna live. Just tell them kiss my ass. Shit, look a little sad. Now I ain't trying to brag, but I'm gonna run it up like
Hell
a
yeah.
drunk man stab with a smirk up on my face. Sunshine in my pocket, got you boots without the lace. Snake
Right on the
pocket,
fence
got that
line.
rock up on my waist. Oh, you better watch it, man. I'm bouncing like a rooster, yeah. I feel a little cocky. You might think that I'm a freak, cause I feel a little cocky. See me walking with a limp, cause I feel a little cocky. I might talk a lot of shit, put my hands up like I'm Rocky. I'm bouncing like a rooster, yeah. I feel a little cocky. First one in, last one
There
out.
it
Hustle real hard over there.
is.
My neighbors have been harassing my family for the past 3 years. What authorities did my neighbor call because we were digging our property? The HOA, the HOA president, other residents of the neighborhood, the parish councilman, the sheriff, all departments of the parish.
She was
and
big
lastly, the
mad.
Army Corps of Engineers.
Big
At
mad.
8 a.m., the parish showed up to make sure that we had the proper permitting and or permission to dig. Did she really think that we were not going to have the proper permission to dig with such a large project? After she called everybody under the sun because some twigs fell into what she believes to be her water? Come on. Of course we had permission. The Army Corps of Engineers gave us permission to dig. At around 8:30, another parish official showed up, wanting to make sure that we didn't bring any dirt or fill in because the neighbor had told them that we brought in dump trucks of dirt, which, again, completely untrue. We used our own land, we dug our own dirt, and used that to spread throughout our property. They asked her if she had proof of this or any pictures, but she wasn't able to provide any. However, she was able to say that we were digging her land and her dirt, and that we were trespassing and we hit her fence while digging. When I was leaving for lunch, this guy showed up. I'm not real sure what he or she was here for because they never came over to speak to me, but I'm sure I'll eventually hear about this as well. And last but not least, she's calling the Army Corps of Engineers to ask them why they gave us permission to dig her land. Good luck with that. What authorities did my neighbor call because we were digging our property? It's getting wild since we've dug our property. She's called every department, every person she could possibly think of. And so yesterday I've gotten a call from the parish saying that she's claiming that it's going to have an adverse action on her property now since we've dug out, and that it changed the water flow, and that we have to come out again to verify that we've sloped the property. So I sent more pictures in, and they determined they do not have to come out anymore, so they're no longer coming out for that particular purpose. This morning we wake up to find the parish councilman at our house, well, not at our house, I'm sorry, at her house, as well as the HOA president again, to determine whether or not we're in any violation. I explained to the parish councilman that we had already had multiple agencies at our house to determine whether or not we had a violation, and we have been told by the parish that there is no violation. So why do we need the parish councilman to come back out? He said that he needs just to determine whether or not there was a violation, that he needed to also come see the work being done because she's claiming that her fence is going to now fall because of our work. I can't help that she put a fence in the water to try to block our family from using the river, and it didn't work. And let's not forget the police call. The police call was because she said that we stole her dirt. So far since we've dug out, we've been accused of stealing her dirt, gonna knock her fence down. Us digging is gonna cause an adverse action. It's gonna change the flow of the water. We took one of her trees. She claimed we didn't have a permit. She claimed that we were bringing in dirt and hauling in dirt. All completely untrue. All these things that she's claiming that we're doing is completely untrue. She's grasping for straws. She's having a coming apart because we dug our own property. It's actually quite comical.
It's funny. It's fucking hilarious.
Since we've dug our property. My neighbor's having a meltdown because we found a solution to the fence she put in the water behind our homes to prevent my boys from fishing and using their boats and launching our boats. The blue lines represent where we always have launched our boat and where we will continue to launch our boat. The red line represents the fence she put in the water. And the yellow lines represent where we're going to now dig to avoid the fence altogether. It's tough to see there, but the blue lines where we represent where we're going into the river, it's more low there than anywhere else on our property. And that's why we chose to always launch there. It was already made as a quote unquote boat launch before we moved in. Now, the problem where the fence comes in is that when the river is low, we're not able to get out because the water doesn't come up all the way to where we can launch and get in through where that yellow part is. But now that we've dug out and dug it deeper, the water's going to come in year round and be deep enough for us to continually launch our boat year round. This is why she's having a meltdown, because now she's not able to prevent us from getting to the main river. She's called every local official, every department she could possibly think of. She's been crying tears. She has a complete meltdown because we're digging our boat launch to avoid her fence that she put in the river to block my family from using it. The parish officials called a no fishing fence because that's basically what she's put it in there to do, to prevent my boys from fishing. My neighbor's having a meltdown because we found a solution to the fence she put in the water behind our homes to prevent my boys from fishing.
There's no sound on this one. Stole her dirt, filed a police report, called the Army Corporation of Engineers. Like, she just calling everybody. Haven't been fined or received a ticket. She's been told we're not violating anything because they had permits. She cried tears. But the truth is, she is running out of ways to harass my family. Amen. She put out a fence with 2 dangerous cables running across into the river to block my family from using the waterway. The truth is, misery loves company, but we do not accept the invitation. Amen, man. Oh, she lost her ever loving mind over this shit right on the fence line, man.
I'd like to address this question because I get it a good bit. Why is my neighbor, who has called the sheriff's department on us 30 times, we've had more than 30 officers at our home, never been ticketed, never been cited. We've had the parish here, we've had the wildlife and fishery, code enforcement, marine division, you name it, we've had it here. Why isn't my neighbor being cited for misuse of emergency services? And my question is the same as yours. I really don't know. I assume that because they have to come out, they are forced to come out and answer the call. But my question is, why hasn't she been ticketed or cited or given some type of warning at least? I have reached out to the sheriff himself with no answer back on that. I'm told over and over again that this is a civil matter. So basically, you have to spend thousands of dollars in court to prevent your neighbor from harassing you legally. Because that's basically what she's doing. She's using the HOA, the sheriff's department, the wildlife and fishery, all these different agencies as a tool to harass my family.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it seems the only way to get it to stop is to take her to court, into civil court, which has cost us already thousands and will cost us thousands more. It's scary and unfortunate because
Right, Sarah.
if she's having a meltdown because we're digging out our property, what is she capable of? I don't know. In my opinion, that's pretty scary. And so the answer is, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know how someone is legally allowed to harass a family through the sheriff's department, the HOA, the parish.
And we've all asked that question around here, haven't we? Why are these people allowed to harass using the police, calling people's like governor, mayor, whatever? Like it goes too far. And why is there no consequence?
Our neighbor said that we stole her dirt and filed a police report claiming that we took her dirt. And listen to this.
I want to show you some pictures because explain it really quickly. Our neighbors dug a channel in their property to get water. And I guess they said they got it from the Army Corps of Engineers because I had the parish out here. Their investigators came out and they said that she showed them a picture of the permit. And so they are actually requesting that they have the physical. And ever since they left, they've been hiding inside. So I think something is
was that today?
Yes, this happened today. They've been digging. They dug yesterday and then the day before.
Okay.
Well, when they were digging, they destroyed our property. They dug up our property. And we had someone come and install a fence. And they put that fence inside the property line.
Okay.
At least 8 inches. Could be a little bit more in some spots.
Wrong. There's the stake that they put out by the surveyors put out, and there's the way the fence starts.
They had the bucket, the excavator bucket, come right up to the post, and they dug.
Okay.
So they were on our property, they dug. I've got it down to show it to you.
32, 33.
We have about, I don't know, 25, 30 for the fence. That's a lot of property they took. And as they dug it, they stole our property and they put it on their property. So basically, they just willfully destroyed our property, and then they used our property and put it on their property, because as they dug it, they.
What do you, when you say property, what are you speaking about?
Our backyard, our property.
So you're talking dirt?
Yes, dirt,
Yeah,
like all
dirt.
the dirt that they were digging.
Okay. So your complaint is that whoever was excavating or digging stuff up, dug up some of your dirt.
Yes.
Do you want your dirt back?
Yes. I want it back, but I think.
But we have to show that.
Okay, let me show you. Come on,
Yes.
it was a little
Yes.
higher.
So they go in the back so she
Wow.
can show her where we allegedly stole her dirt.
Those trees were mostly on our property.
Okay,
So they
but
took
they
that.
were kind of sharing property, huh?
They're a little bit like that. Yeah, they're kind of sharing just a little bit, but they're joint trees. And so the tree's gone. I mean, I don't know where it is. This is gone. So anyway,
Remember how
Can
our
you
neighbor
believe
said that
this
we
shit,
stole her dirt?
man?
they had the excavator. The excavator came with its arm and its bucket, and they collapsed the dirt that they had dug and pushed up. They collapsed it. They took it. They scooped it. And when they were scooping it, the excavator thing was coming under our fence. It literally was going on our side too. But he went down all right at the fence, and he took all the dirt that's right on the fence line. And, well, those are no trespassing signs here. I don't know how clear it can be. And I'm thinking to myself, the Army Corps of Engineer gave you a permit to change the flow of water when they don't have jurisdiction in sloughs or private waterways. I'm thinking, I'm finding this now hard to believe.
Okay.
And I told the inspection guy when he was here, because I'm sorry if I'm going too fast.
Hi, Critter.
I'm just so stressed.
No.
I said to myself, well, if the Army Corps did technically give them a permit,
Oh,
he said, would they give them
that's crazy, Mickey. Hello, by the way.
right up to our fence, which is inside our property line? He's like, no, they wouldn't even give them the right to go right up to the property line. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I said, they trespassed, they destroyed it. They took the dirt and they put the.
Tearing up.
I don't know what else to do.
1 Alpha 20 code 4.
I mean, you can go school to work, and that's expensive. We've tried that with them, and it's very, very expensive because they had.
1 Alpha 30 traffic stop.
They've done just bad things. Anyway, so
We've done bad things.
now that this is happening, I'm like, well, now this is criminal because I know I want to walk over and take the shovel and scoop over there. I'm trespassing and I'm destroying property. Why am I on video destroying my property?
Okay.
Oh, Mickey, I love your picture.
That you are
I
telling me
have
that
lots of videos of them digging here, but this is the one where.
So here's my thing. Let me look at that and then we'll have a conversation. So let me look at
I'm
that.
sorry if I'm just being very.
Very Karen-ish.
Are sitting in, so I don't know if we get a strong wind or if we get like high water. Are we going to lose our fence? Is it going to fall over? I don't know what he did because I can't see it now because now the water's on it. Because it's like he said, the Army Corps of Engineer trumps the parish. Okay, that's what he basically said. He didn't use that word. Does not have the right to say you can dig right up to their fence. I don't think the Army Corps of Engineer would say you can dig right up to someone. You can dig on the property line. I'm sorry. I don't think that.
So here's my thing. So here's the thing. Okay. So when something is criminal, we have to prove intent.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if that's been explained to you.
They had the excavator. The excavator came with its arm and its bucket, and they collapsed the dirt that they.
In that video, he's
Part
right
3.
up there, but he hasn't trespassed against that fence. So there's no trespassing against the
It's
fence.
trespass on the property line. Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's a potential that he is, but intent means he is out there and he's intentionally attempting to destroy your property. Because I can go talk to them and ask them what's going on.
No, they're gonna. I can tell you. You go talk to them. They're gonna say we did not do. They won't admit to what they did unless they saw that video.
I don't need to see the video. I was out there.
We're dealing with people that have harassed us from the moment they moved in.
Oh, my.
And so we had my husband had asked them to please not use that water.
Okay.
And that made us enemy number one, because in her eyes, she's like, we can use that water, and I'm like, it's.
You said what you went to court for, but you didn't explain that.
Because slander, I guess I don't know, call it libel, endangerment of my life. There, God, I can't without looking at all the things. Okay,
That's
so this
awesome,
is not
little
because
chick. That's
our
awesome.
lawyer said, no, it's just a hearing. We don't bring all the guns. You don't bring
Why
all the
wouldn't you bring your
It's just a
evidence?
hearing. You just bring what you need to prove for the injunction. So he sought an injunction to keep them away from us.
Okay, I was going to ask, like a restraining order type thing. Is that what you're saying? Okay,
Yes.
that they couldn't come so far.
Yeah, they could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't have my daughters with us because I'm like, well, I don't need them there for witnesses because that's not what it was. Was in time.
Right.
So we didn't have that, and the judge, because they weren't there, he's like, well, it's not that he didn't believe us, but he didn't have like the protocol, I guess. And I'm thinking, how do I not know this? I don't know.
Hold
Anyway,
on.
so
I need to go
he
feed Roomy.
couldn't enforce the injunction, but he basically said, if you continue with this and you pursue this and you come back, he goes, your chances are very good. And I, basically saying, need to press charges against the person who does.
No, because the person, we have to speak to the person.
Okay.
And we don't,
that is,
because remember, criminal intent.
Yeah.
Is his intent criminal, or is he making a mistake in judgment?
That's what I'm telling you. They are nuisance neighbors.
So
he has actually come. We did this because, and then after they filed a lawsuit just so they could say, we'll drop ours if you drop yours.
Yeah, that's why we did it.
And I'm like, thousands of dollars later, I'm thinking, if, I know what the judge said. He basically said, if you go with this, you'll probably be victorious. But that's
what the judge told her.
It is.
It's a lot of money.
The judge would say something like that.
And I just, I'm a Christian, and I'm like, Lord, I really want to do this. I'm so tired of dealing with our neighbors, right? So I'm like,
I'm sure she's tired of dealing with you too.
We agreed to drop it. Where? I can't remember the wording. It's either with prejudice or without prejudice. One of them means that we can open it back up.
Oh, gotcha.
So we dropped it with the stipulation.
That's it, Sarah.
We will open this back up if necessary.
In that video, he's right.
I would have said, if we don't be a nuisance,
Last part.
we want to launch, and I would have said, yeah, you know what, I don't mind. What I don't want is, this is our peaceful little habitat, little haven.
Right.
We don't want your kids running around, okay? You probably not to go talk to them, and I'll tell you why. Because you not going over there is going to keep her in the dark, and that's going to bug her. And if that's the only satisfaction I get is she doesn't know what I said.
Like right now, we can do that, and I would look. I'll do whatever you want, but I think talking to you.
Well, there's no sign out there saying they have a permit, and you have to put a permit in the sign. There's no sign saying they have a permit. Nobody came to us to tell us that, hey, they're going to be digging a canal by your property, but don't worry, they're not going to be that close to your property line. That didn't happen. I didn't get a letter. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get anything. They've never told us. Then harassed us. She calls the sheriff office all the time. I'm like, I called the sheriff office because you keep doing stuff. They have this little like a one-stroke engine. I don't know. I'm not a boat person. We don't have evidence on them. I've got lots of evidence. I've never had the opportunity to show it.
Right.
And so we took them to court, and that really kind of stopped things because they realized we're serious.
We're still living our life.
And it was strapping them money-wise to do this. So they were like, well, they were like twice came back. Let's just drop both of them. And we thought about it because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to stop, but it's expensive.
Oh, I understand.
So I was like, okay, well, let's just see what happens. And I she can do whatever she wants, but what she's going to do, because I hate to say it for lack of a better word, she's an attention whore. That's what the whole TikTok is.
An attention whore. Did you hear that?
She's going to pull your footage. She's going to pull the whole thing.
Well, she can't.
Okay.
No, I'm just letting.
Okay, because
it's not going to stop her if she happens to see my unit videotaping my unit, but I can promise you this: she cannot get her hands on any footage. It's just not allowed.
Okay, I won't. For my emotional sanity, I won't watch.
I understand.
I had to see
I
a
agree
couple.
with you.
I had to see a couple, and she actually said, "This is her word." And she was sitting there, kind of sleazy, with her breath falling out, and just she just playing with her coke like this, and she goes, "She has the audacity to take pictures of my kids." And so what she's doing, slandering me like I'm this horrible person. I'm like, because I videotaped your kids going back and forth playing with evidence. Because I videotaped your kids driving a golf cart illegally. I have evidence. One person, I don't know, it was one of the recent ones, and it said, they think I'm with these bad people because what she said about us. She won't tell you the truth on anything.
So what we can do is,
I know people have bad neighbors. I know that. I've never had neighbors that were so blatant to endanger my life. Damn well know that water's now going to come up higher. They want destruction of our property because we take care of our property. We try to do it. I love doing it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And they're jealous of it. I know that. She's made comments. So, I mean, they want to know. Thank you. And thank you.
All right. If you need anything, give us a call, okay?
Thank you so much. And hopefully I can use you guys. I would love to be able to. I just feel like they're the type of people that, he literally said, right, I can do what I want. And he acts that way.
Yeah. So the best thing that you do is.
Could have said.
Wow. That was a lot. Right. Endangered her life. Right. And Sheila, it seems like that's what her kids did growing up, was just sit around, probably played video games or something, and never went outside and enjoyed that beautiful property and the water. And now that somebody is next door doing just that, she can't stand it. Okay, guys, I'm going to end that there. My hubby will be home in about 10 minutes. That was a lot. That was a lot. So we're going to get all of this and we're going to go through it together. So we can kind of, I don't know, maybe hear it better because it was kind of low. Maybe we'll be able to hear it better and stop when we need to. And yes, UC love, same. And stop where we need to and then discuss. Because those, what, 4 parts, 5 parts was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, get off of here, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. Mia's mommy, I think so. I think she is. She had a community post. I'm not sure what she was talking about in the community post. And she said that she was going live at some point. Let me see if she has set anything up. No, not yet. Not that I can see. She does not have anything set up yet. So I guess just watch for it. And we'll go from there. Okay. Oh, guys, I did get my windshield situation. I got the ball rolling on it. After my live yesterday, I went and did what I had to do, dropped off the weight bench and stuff, and did a couple of things. Washed my car. After I got out of the car wash, I noticed that the crack had went probably another 6 or 8 inches. So it's gone from the very top, like the very top, like it barely missed the roof of my car. It was at the very top of my windshield. It comes down and over and down some more and over. It's gone from that tippy top in the corner all the way to the middle of my car. It's bad. But it's like above my where I could see. It's above my point of vision. So I can still see fine. It's just there. I paid my second car payment this morning, for God's sakes. Hold on, Piper, I'm coming. So it's $1,000 if I was to go through Safe Light and just fix it myself. And my insurance, my deductible is $250. So I got to pay the $250 and it'll be fixed. So I'm going to do that and get that fixed. And I got to go to the dealership today about that top piece on my roof that flew off at some point and see what I can do about ordering that. So I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Watch for Siwa at some point today. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.